Welcome to She Built That with Julie Nichols, where I interview female entrepreneurs about their journeys to business success. Today, my guest is Molly Kirk, co-founder, lead singer, and senior producer of Bluewater Kings Band, lighting up private events across the Midwest with unforgettable performances. Molly is also a producer, actor, and vocalist based in Chicago, known for bringing fire to every stage and screen she hits. You've seen her shine in national campaigns for Disney, Kellogg's, Whirlpool, and Splenda. Molly, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Wow.
I know, you sound like so profesh right there.
I sound so successful. It's amazing.
Molly, please tell us all about founding Bluewater Kings Band. Tell us about what is Bluewater Kings Band? How does that work? What is that?
Yes. So Bluewater Kings Band is a band that's based in Chicago, where I live, but we also have other chapters in the Great Lakes region. And what it is, it's comprised of some of the best musicians in our regional cities. So for example, it's the best musicians in Chicago. And what we do is custom create live bands for weddings, primarily weddings, corporate events, summer festivals, award shows, all of the above. And we really tailor it to what the clients want musically, what they want aesthetically. So it's not just kind of like a one and done situation. I really have the freedom to kind of create this beautiful musical package for clients.
So like it's not just one band. It's like you create these little different versions of bands, and like how do you figure that out? Like how do you comprise those bands?
I would say it's like one big band, because we all play together. But really we kind of tailor it's really the singers that people are the most concerned about. That people have an idea of what they want vocally. So we really try to match singers with the right kind of genre that they're looking for. Like if I have a client that's like, I want all Motown soul funk, I know exactly what singers I'm going to put in that band.
So do you sometimes get people that are just like, I want only classical music playing?
Yes. And I have this wonderful string consultant named Billy Howard. Billy, if you're listening, who will put together a perfect string trio or string quartet or even something more for a client.
Okay, that's awesome. Because I mean, I'm just, thinking about any kind of event, like you might have, we want a string quartet for the ceremony, but then for the party, we want something else. And for the cocktail hour, we want something else. So you're able to kind of assemble all of those different groups.
So we do. Yeah. So, and honestly, a typical wedding contract looks exactly like that, Julie. It's string trio, string quartet for the ceremony, then a jazz trio for the cocktails. And those are members of the dance band. Then they relocate. And then we have an MC, we have a DJ, and then we have musicians that will play the rest of the night.
And then like what different cities is Bluewater Kings Band in?
So the Chicago band plays obviously in Chicago. We play in the suburbs, and then we also travel a lot to Wisconsin. I'm actually going to Wisconsin on Friday. And then we also have bands in Cincinnati, Detroit, Indianapolis, Minneapolis, Columbus, and Cleveland.
Ooh, you're just like sweeping the prairies, baby. You're just like, if there's flatland, we're there with a band for you.
And each
no mountains.
And each band is comprised of musicians from that city. So you can come see the Chicago band or any of the other bands at our live band showcases. So once a month, we'll play a free show from 8 to 9. So you can actually see our band. You can see and meet the band members that will play your event, should you move forward.
Okay, this just sounds like the most fun business ever.
It's really fun.
I mean, now we're going to go back in time. This is the part where we do like diddly-doo, diddly-doo, diddly-doo. And if you're not watching on video, it's me doing the Wayne's World fingers, which I'm now very much dating myself. I'm all of like the millennials and younger are like, what the hell is she doing? We're old. So yes, Molly, let's go back in time. I want to hear about what was the specific moment or experience that like sparked this idea for this business?
It's kind of an interesting story. So,
well, good, because this is a podcast and I'm asking.
Great. So I'd always been a wedding singer, kind of as a side hustle. I worked at a nonprofit for a little over 10 years as a director of communication and marketing, but I was always what we call ourselves as jobbers. I was always jobbing kind of in that corporate market. So I sang with a few different bands. My husband, Bob, actually was contacted by one of the co-founders, the director, Rachel, about playing in this new band that was going to launch in Chicago. He said, "Oh, yeah, my wife is also a singer." Then she Googled me and she couldn't find a website because I didn't have one. And she said, "Well, you sound like a great fit, but I don't know about this Molly." So, so
Oops.
really, the door was closed right in my face, to be honest with you. But what happened was I ended up meeting this person, this kind of co-founder of this band, just casually, and we immediately hit it off. And she saw me sing. She heard me sing. She thought I was great. And then a few months later, she said, "Hey, have you ever thought about being a producer for our band?" And this was when it was just a little teeny tiny baby band. We were doing like a 5-piece band, maybe like once every couple weeks for a wedding. And so I was tasked with recruiting more musicians from Chicago to play with our band, which was really fun because I got to bring all my friends from previous bands, recruited them, brought them in. And then also I just started basically selling the band to potential clients and booking events for them.
Okay, so you're booking the band, are you a part of building the business and figuring out how it's going to grow? Like, what did that look
Yes.
like?
So what I realized about myself is that I'm always a part of just like a launch of something. And I think I'm really good at that, not to brag about myself.
I mean, where else are you going to brag about yourself but a podcast all about you, Molly? This is your chance.
I will say, though, I would not consider myself a visionary. I think that I'm always the second in command behind the visionary. And I think that that's a very good place to be. So what I've found that I'm good at and what I like to do is I'll work with visionaries who have grand ideas, and then I take what I think is going to work and I'll put together a plan of action. So being a part of this band from the very early onset was great because our biggest goal in this band was being musician driven. We are a musician run band. So there's not one top band leader that's dictating the rules, that's only working with the clients, and then is throwing a band into a situation where they don't have all the information. Maybe they're not being treated well. And so I was able to kind of work with the founders of Bluewater Kings and create kind of expectations about what clients should provide to musicians, but also what musicians should provide to clients. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that is so interesting because it sounds like you've kind of flipped the way that it's done, in the
Yeah.
in the industry, so that the musicians have a lot more control, like more creative control. Would you say?
Yes, there's a lot. Well, there's a lot of creative control in our bands. I always say that as far as creative control, we're always going to play within the parameters of what you want and leave off the stuff that you don't want. But we use the metaphor like it's like going to a concert with your favorite artist. Sure, they're going to play some favorites that you know and that you really want to hear, but they're also going to surprise you with some stuff that you didn't know that's going to blow your mind. So we have a lot of creative control. And the biggest thing I think is that I'm going to always advocate for my musicians and make sure that they are in a safe place, like a safe place. I can't tell you how many times I was sexually harassed in previous band scenarios in my mid-20s where that was kind of just the expectation if you're like a hot 20-something singer that, hey, just so you know, this guy, and by the way, this is a very famous person, is probably going to grab your ass at some point. In our band, we can say, hey, that's a harassment violation, and we're going to pack up and we're going to hit the road. Okay.
Oh my God, I love
So
that so much.
yes.
The packing up, not the ass grabbing. But I mean, I like a good
No.
ass grab, but not unsolicited.
Yes. And here's the thing. We have rarely had to enact that clause. We really haven't. There was one time in COVID. Um, there was, I won't even get into specifics, but we really don't have to do that. But because the musicians have that contract framework in place, and they know that me as the producer for the band and also my colleagues that are also producers always have their back, it's a safer environment. And the expectation is not that you're just, a vendor that's providing a service. Yes, we are, but we're also human beings and we deserve to be treated with respect.
I mean, I feel like that alone is so revolutionary, which is like you would think by 2025 this wouldn't be such a big deal. It would be like standard. But yeah, I mean, her mouth is agape. She's like, absolutely not. Right. I mean, and you and I, we came up in the theater. And so like,
Yes.
we still see problems about that all the time. And so to be able to work for a business where you as the musician know that you are protected and that you can speak up if something like that happens to you, and that you'll be your producer is going to go to bat for you. That's incredible. I mean, that must be wonderful for your female musicians, especially to know that they've got you in their corner.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So you guys, we haven't talked about this at all, but Molly and I met in theater school. We went to Drake University together. And so I've known Molly since I was 19, I believe. And I know she's a phenomenal actress, phenomenal singer, everything.
Oh, thank you.
And that's what
Julie is too, as well.
Give me a break, Molly. I mean, who we kidding here? You freaking, blow it out of the park every time. Or, yeah, that's what they call it. They hit it out of the park, blow it out of the park. I don't know where the hell I got that from. But I would love to hear your journey through, like, being an actor. And then, like, you started this band company, but then also staying an actor. Like, that is so hard. Like, me, myself, I was a professional actor for 10 years. And then I had kids. And then I had to pivot to another industry where I could really make money. And then I started my own marketing business, but like trying to still go on auditions, trying like still to do any of that is like so exhausting to me. How you've managed to continue your acting career through all of that, through having a child, being married, all of that shit. I would love to hear your journey from like, once, you were working on the band and then continuing to do that. How do you do it all?
You know what? It's really stressful. And I will say I have a really supportive partner. I have a really supportive partner that is always there for me and willing to allow me the freedom to, one, travel for acting or musical jobs, and he stays home. Especially I did a touring show before COVID. And also, I am now a little bit picky about what I will audition for and what I won't audition for. But I went full-time, like self-employed, right when I had my son. I didn't expect that to happen.
When was that?
That was in 2015.
Okay.
So I was basically just not asked to come back to my day job, which, maybe there were some laws that were violated, but I don't know. But I needed an out, and I was already kind of on my way out. I got my master's in mental health counseling. I was kind of wanting to foray into becoming a therapist. But I was pregnant, and I just kind of just was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to go full-time artist and see what happens. And as soon as I did that, Julie, like jobs just started coming in, and I suddenly had the freedom to be able to audition. I always say that my like maternity leave was funded by a voiceover job that I did when I was 9 months pregnant. So,
That is so
so
awesome.
it was, it didn't, and one, so I had the freedom to go on auditions because I wasn't like at a day job. But two, I don't want to get too woo, but I do feel like the universe does kind of deliver when you just kind of let go
What is it
and
that
say,
phrase
this is
like
what I want to do.
make the jump and the net will appear?
Yes. Yeah. And the jump was really scary for me. But my husband's always been self-employed and has always been like a independent contractor. And so for him, it was like, why not just do it? And I was like, because I'm the one with the benefits and I'm the one with the salary. Um, And it's like, as soon as I did that, like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. I was no longer anxious. I stopped biting my nails. Um, my whole outlook changed. And so I was able to become an artist and also like stay home with my son, which was fantastic, you
Well,
know?
and not to
So many
mention
people
like
are,
saving on daycare and a nanny and whatever else you might have
yes,
to pay.
yes, exactly. We have a wonderful nanny who's been with us since Griffin was a baby, but she's just Saturday nights or Friday nights when I'm working.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
So yeah, yeah. So that's kind of how it started. And now um, I mean, having a kid in full-time school is the best. That really is life-changing because
Yeah.
the house is quiet.
Just
And
get to
now after
kindergarten,
COVID,
everybody. Just get to
yeah,
kindergarten.
just get to kindergarten. It changes your whole life, especially full day.
Oh, yes.
Um, But I do, everything is self-tape now. Everything. If I do go in for an in-person audition, it is rare, which is kind of a bummer because I really miss that kind of interaction between the casting director and you because they can coach you. So everything is self-tape. And then usually even a callback now is on Zoom. Sometimes I
Really?
go in, sometimes I don't. And I will say the director is never in the room if I do go in. The director is on Zoom. So I can't even see a director's face to know exactly what they want. I'm just listening to them, which is wild, and I don't like it.
Yeah. I was going to say that must like make you feel so isolated and like
Hmm.
disassociated from the creative that's going on in the room. Because I remember those days I
Yes.
used to go audition for commercials and how different,
Hmm.
like, especially when I would go in for Mickey Pascal at Pascal Rudnicki Casting.
Yes.
Loving
Still there.
Mickey Pascal, Drake University grad. So going in and like what her and her team would do in the room to really get out of you what they were looking for. And then you really felt like, oh, well, maybe I really have a shot at this thing. Like
Yes.
I felt like I
Yes.
actually learned something, maybe even. That's really sad that that's not a part of it.
It's hard. It's hard. So now a lot of classes are geared around self-tapes and auditioning on Zoom. I actually just took a great class with Matt Miller.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know if you remember Matt Miller.
I've known Matt Miller
Uh,
for a very long time. He asked me for a comp
he's
for the first show I was ever in. He was
oh,
like, I want to see Dr. Sex at Bailiwick 2003. Can you get me a comp? I was like,
Dr.
sure,
Sachs.
Matt.
That was a great show. That was a
Oh
great
my
show.
God, I
Yeah. So
missed it.
Matt Miller is was a casting director at Pascal Rudnicki, but now he's a director and he teaches. And yeah, I just did like, basically a seminar with him, just kind of perfecting my self tape. That's how I bought this amazing backdrop behind me that looks like, I don't know, Olin Mills circuit. I don't know what. Like,
I think it looks fabulous,
well,
whatever it
thank you.
is.
Thank you.
And,
Yeah.
and so like being a mom, being an artist, being a producer, I mean, clearly you
Hmm.
wear a lot of hats, which I can
Yes.
totally relate to. And
Yes.
where do you find time for yourself?
That's a really good question. I I have no problem shutting off, like setting a really hard boundary. I won't do any client calls after 4 o'clock, which is really frustrating for some people. I really try to unplug and reconnect. I will also say that my partner and I are in regular couples counseling for maintenance,
Oh my God,
which is
that's genius.
it's it's really helps our communication. And even though we don't have anything like traumatic to work on, it just helps us like kind of deal with the day-to-day stuff. And I would consider that self-care for sure. Um, and I really just like unplugging and like watching like reruns of like New Girl, The Office, Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, like any comedy.
Anything produced by Mike Schur, everything that's
Anything
just like
produced by Mike Schur is like my jam, or
that's my
any.
comfort shows. Yeah.
Oh, it's the best. And they all hold up really well,
You
like
know
through the
that's
years.
and like that I just read an article about like how rewatching shows, especially like feel good shows, is like
Uh-huh.
something that people with anxiety do because it's so comforting. Doesn't that make so much
Yes,
sense? I was like,
that
yes,
makes
that's
so
me.
much sense.
That is
That,
me.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
you know what to expect. You know the punchlines. It's
Hmm.
just like the warm, fuzzy feeling, like
Hmm.
Ted Lasso. Like, oh my God, I could watch that
Yes,
show a
yes,
million times in a
a
row
million times. Yeah,
because it's just like,
yeah,
oh my God, it's so
yeah,
beautiful. And it just makes
yeah.
me feel so good. So yeah, people with anxiety, go watch Parks and Rec 500 times like I do.
Yes, yes, yes. Also, Epsom salts. Like, I swear Epsom salt baths are like, that really helps. That and Alka-Seltzer too.
Alka-Seltzer to the rescue. Look
Plop,
at me,
plop, fizz, fizz.
I know, I'm restarting my voiceover career with my new
Yes,
mic.
I like your voiceover. It's your voiceover voice.
Oh, maybe I should take one of those classes. Um,
Yeah.
Molly, it's been so great having you. And I think the last question that I want to ask you is what do you hope to be doing in like the next 5 years? Like, what's the next move you want to make? And if you don't know, that's okay, but I'm challenging you to come up with one if you don't already have one.
Oh no, I do have, I guess I'm a visionary a little bit. I have two goals. I really want to start a podcast with our mutual friend, Jessica. She is also a producer in the band with me, about the wedding industry and just like, but a comedy podcast,
Oh my God, I love it.
just where people can share their stories, but also get some really good in like feedback about for brides and for vendors that are all working in the wedding industry. Like I said, we need a producer because I can't figure out everything. And then my partner and I really, really want to buy a wedding venue.
Oh, oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, we really want to retire early. And I mean, it wouldn't be retire because we'd be working, and buy probably a rural venue and host weddings and be on that side.
Oh my
Because
God.
I'm not going to be able to sing forever. He's not going to be able to drum and load sound gear forever, but we'll know how to run an event and we could do that for years.
Yeah. Oh my God. That sounds like so much fun. I'm very excited to see where your career goes and your life. And thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming. Oh, could you tell us real quick, how can
Yes.
people find Bluewater Kings Band online?
So it's at Bluewater Kings Band on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all the things, just at Bluewater Kings Band. Or you can visit our website at bluewaterkingsband.com.
Well, Molly, thank you so much for being here. And everyone, thank you so much for listening. This is She Built That with Julie Nichols. I'm Julie Nichols of Julie Nichols Marketing. Give me a call if you need help with your small business getting noticed online. You can find me at julienicholsmarketing.com. That's Nichols marketing.com. Thanks for listening. See you next time.